Now we're going to switch to Erik, who's going to discuss the contracting piece on how to negotiate Premier or unified support.
Thanks, Floris. This one is very challenging because I think in most cases, clients do not realize they have quite a good negotiation position when it comes to negotiating Premier and unified support. Microsoft is often pushing you towards your internal deadline. So if you have an expiration coming up, so let's say it's November now and you have your expiration coming up from the end of November, they really push you to sign off before the end of November. So with the licensing contract, they tend to be a bit more flexible and perhaps watch and see how it goes. But within the unified support offerings and the Premier support offerings, Microsoft is always pushing to sign up very quickly, and they always threaten to cut you off from all services. But just to reassure you, from all of the practice we have seen at Microsoft, Microsoft does not do that. They often threat with it, but they don't actually do it. So first of all, be comfortable about it doing the negotiations. Don't think that your IT organization will not have any support for Microsoft anymore. We've seen small and larger clients dealing with it, and in the end, Microsoft always helps. So just to reassure you on that. So if you are on Premier support, we would recommend you to stay on it because we feel the price calculation and transparency when it comes to what you actually are contracting is far more flexible and transparent as it is not within the unified support offering. So in the end, you will have to move to the unified support offering if you want to have support from Microsoft directly. And that brings up another challenging question. Do you actually require the unified support offering? Because in practice, we've seen that a lot of Microsoft partners are very, very capable of offering the same services as Microsoft are doing. And we even have seen cases where Microsoft was not delivering the service at their own, but Microsoft partners were contracted by Microsoft to deliver the service even. So be very realistic about what you actually require. Do you really want Microsoft to offer this at a very large price? Because we've seen in practice that Microsoft partners are able to offer the same services at lower pricing. So Microsoft not being very realistic about this and their pricing, and they often, with the way they negotiate with the top bottom approach, where they are having their discussions with your CIO, they always want to pitch this and want to push this. But 9 out of 10 times, we feel from a professional perspective, there is no actual reason to have them involved. We always say it's like an insurance. So they, if your house is on fire, they will be able to put the fire down, but it's only the effort that has been calculated into the offering. So be very considerate about that. Microsoft is also understanding this, so they know that they don't have a very good offering in place, and often the Microsoft sales teams are struggling with, what am I selling here? I don't know what the heck how to sell it, because we have a client that has Microsoft partners in place. They have all other parties in place. So why should we sell this for millions and millions of dollars or euros? So the business case also internally is often fake for them to sell this off. So be aware of that, because you can use it into your advantage, because we see that although we feel most clients do not require it, they do want to have a direct support and contract with Microsoft, but it shouldn't come at every price. So if you are switching to unified support, be sure to negotiate very well. Usually, you can only do a good deal for 1 year. If you're trying to do a multi-year deal, it's quite a hassle, but it is possible if you are negotiating with quite an amount you require. I would say if you are doing a multi-million-dollar deal, it's possible to do a multi-year deal. Other than that, we've seen that they're pretty reluctant in offering multi-year deals. They would like to do it just for 1 year. so they can further explore your organization and then try to upsell and increase the price from there. So be very cautious about that. Yeah, let's move to the next slide, Floris. And this one is I think it's a very important slide. How should you negotiate and how should you get the price down? We already touched that briefly, but the Microsoft partners, they tend to maintain lower prices than Microsoft does itself. So you really should investigate what your internal requirement is. We are actually doing that for a few customers now, and we often see that Microsoft is pitching a 6 to 8 million deal for an organization with 30 to 50,000 seats. But then when you investigate and you really zoom in on the proposal, what's included, we see that 80% of the stuff that's actually into the offering has been covered by Microsoft partners already. So it often feels that you are buying the same service twice. And in addition, your Microsoft partner is probably able to offer the same service for far less. So make your internal requirements list, see what's on it, and start from that point. Do not let Microsoft tell you what they want, because they want to push that through all of your organization. And check if your Microsoft partner is also able to offer the services that you are probably not buying from them now, but Microsoft is offering. And also in that case, you would see that 9 out of 10 times your Microsoft partner can offer the same services. Except, for instance, a very large Microsoft partner has its tentacles within not only your Microsoft subsidiary, but also within Microsoft Corporation. So they have their own tentacles into the product groups and the technical guys from the labs. So it's not always that Microsoft offers the best services from your subsidiary. It could be that your partner can provide better services and has a better network within the Microsoft internal organization. Another one, negotiate in combination with your EA. Always do that, because if you lose the momentum of combining your requirements, it's a difficult negotiation. So if you're already using all of the services, if you already are on unified support and you're trying to negotiate it from a position where you don't have an enterprise agreement, it's very, very difficult to not have a price increase. So usually we see crazy price increases when it comes to unified support. We just last week I had a case where we had a client who initially spent 150K a year on the unified support, so it was not too substantial. But now with all of the stuff that Floris has explained to you and their calculation, it has increased to 500K. So and that's of course an unacceptable price increase. So we always say, if you are negotiating and you need it, don't pay more than 10% extra than the yearly amount you are paying now, because it's really unacceptable to pay more. And also don't be afraid to walk away, because in the end, the services team is pushing you towards a deadline. They want you to sign up before the expiration date. And if you're not, they're threatening to cut you off from their services. But don't be afraid just to walk away and say, well, then we don't have any services anymore. Well, we'll just contact our main Microsoft partner and have the discussion with them from now on. And only then they will probably move your way and be more flexible when it comes to the price. So do realize that often it seems like a high risk for your internal organization to walk away and say, well, you don't need your services anymore. But in practice, you will see that Microsoft will require that contract probably more than you do. So do acknowledge that. And in addition, have your discussion with your Microsoft partner. It's really depending on your contract with your Microsoft partner and how it looks. But we've seen cases where the Microsoft partner 9 out of 10 times is able to offer the same services as Microsoft, and you don't need that multi-million contract. And even the same people are supporting you. So why would you have the direct contract with Microsoft? Do have that conversation with your Microsoft partner. They're able to help, and often far more flexible than Microsoft is. So yeah, that's the way we feel you should negotiate this.